On this week's show, I'm hopping a train in White River, Ontario, and riding the rails to Lodge 88, a historic fishing lodge known for big pike and lots of walleye. Although I've traveled to numerous Ontario fishing destinations, this is my first by train, which promises a whole new adventure. All aboard!
Hey, I've been fishing in Ontario for well over 40 years and have some great fishing memories, not to mention some very close friends. Ontario has some of the best multi-species freshwater fishing in the world. Ontario has a special place in my heart. The Ontario experience captures all of this and more as hosts Troy Lindner and Ty Shadeen explore new places, meet some authentic characters, and experience world-class fishing and hunting along the way. The Ontario experience is the next best thing to going on the adventure yourself, and who knows, this unique show just might give you some ideas for your next fishing or hunting trip.
So we're up early. I don't want to talk to a lot of people. Are still sleeping here. We're about an hour away. We're going to take the 7 a.m. train to Lodge 88. This looks like it. Is the White River train station. This is what we're taking. We'll load our equipment next to the tracks there. And I think it's about an hour ride. We're gonna rock and roll. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a little different. Not a flying, not a driving, a training.
Taking the train from White River to Lodge 88 is a great way to experience Ontario's Algoma region. The moving scenery through the train car window was like something out of a movie.
The train is stopped at Walleye and Pike Station.
Most people come in by train, and some people prefer to come in by flight. And the flight would be out of White River. The train is accessed anywhere between Sudbury and White River. There's about 8 different get-on points at different stations, and anywhere from 1 hour to 7-hour train ride will get you to the lodge.
So we're here at Lodge 88. We just landed. And this is Essanagi Lake. You see it's a beautiful morning, water clarity here. Actually really nice. They have these nice cedar strip boats to fish out of, as well as Lund Furies. Like I see, even without my glasses here, I can see, you're talking 3-4 feet visibility even at low light. This is gonna be nice. We're gonna catch a lot of fish.
First, it all came in by plane. That was our very first start. And then we learned that the cost was so high that we learned that it's probably cheaper to bring it in by train, and they could bring in a lot more, a lot faster. So all the buildings pretty much came in by train, except for the logs. The logs were all on the property, and those were harvested right here. We had a group of 4 lumberjacks that came in, and they would prefab everything and assemble it. They could do a building like the one in front of me here. They could do a building like this in 30 days complete, from start to finish. They're very fast. They know their stuff.
The McLaughlin family has been operating Lodge 88 for almost 60 years. Ivan McLaughlin built the original Camp 88 in 1959, and over the years has expanded into 3 large, beautiful cabins and the Eagle's Nest vertical log suites.
The best day I'd say would be the day we caught a 33-inch walleye. That's a big fish. That's good. Going to be 13 pounds. That's a big fish. Yeah, the largest pike I ever seen was 51 inches. That's the largest I've ever seen. Yeah. And there's some monsters in here. Those are hard to catch. Those are in the bottom. Yeah, they're hard to catch.
Another great thing about taking the train to Lodge 88 is you arrive well rested, so I was absolutely ready to fish. After a little bit of rigging, it was go time to explore Lake Essanagi. or part of it anyway. At 10,000 acres and 27 miles long, there's definitely lots of water to fish, and plenty of it to hold big fish like Terry talked about, which got me super excited. This segment is brought to you by Tourism Northern Ontario. Now, I guess you could say I arrived at Lodge 88 ready for a fight. With big toothy critters, that is. My first order of business? Big swim baits for big Algoma northern pike.
Should be a fish here. The weeds start right here. We just saw a decent one came up and slapped at the bait. They're actually in the inside of this turn. There's some fallen down tree, and there's actually some weeds there. So when you go back, see if this fish will hit again. Never got hooks in it, just came up and slapped at the bait.
It's pretty tough to beat a big, soft plastic swim bait for pike in any kind of habitat, but especially around weeds. Unlike hard baits with lots of treble hooks, swim baits are relatively weedless.
Nice one. They're all really healthy here at Lodge 88. Nice, beautiful pike. These are future trophies right here. Oh, there we go. Easy release. There we go. Rip the hood out. Beautiful. Beautiful pike. Look at that. There's so many of these up in Ontario. Just incredible how many you can catch in a day. With a shot and a giant.
Gotta say, catching a bunch of pike right out of the gate felt good.
Got a little bit of weather come in. This usually good walleye weather. We got the wind blowing into the point. We're actually in front of one of the other lodges right here. So we're gonna try to find some of the walleyes. Just dropping a jig and wrap. I'm gonna sight fish for them here. The hummingbird. That's one right there. Nice fish. That's what we want. Now we're to a little bit shallower here. That's where we had those other ones. No, they just, it's gone. Oh, right there. Yep. Gonna say. Oh yeah, look at the size of that one. That's a big one. That's a big walleye. Oh, right. Oh, look at this one. Here we go. Look, this is what you want to come up here for. It just got that jig and wrap right, and one hook, one of the trebles right in the corner of the mouth. This is why you come up to Lodge 88. Lots of walleye to catch, including size, you know, bigger ones like this, as well as lots of pike. Good food, good people, and good times. Oh, she's a lot. There you go. Oh, jeez. Yeah, so what I'm doing here, what I've been doing is just kind of idling around, trying to get right on top of the fish. You know, instead of like drifting over or just trolling through an area. The electronics like this, I'm just kind of marking where they are, where a few of them are bunched up on the piece, and dropping a bait, dropping this little boot tail and dropping the jig and wrap right on top of them. It's very effective.
This segment is brought to you by Go Fish Ontario, Canada.
The first year I come up was 1969. A bunch of young fellas, a friend of mine invited me up. And I just fell in love with the place and began booking it pretty much regular.
You know, one of the best parts of any Ontario fishing trip is meeting veteran anglers like Tom. These are guys who've forgotten more than I'll probably ever know about fishing these waters.
How many times have you fished this spot?
Oh golly, we were here. We were here the other day. Got a half dozen. It's kind of on the way out and on the way back. You make a couple passes, and you get something. You get something. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah. Have you seen any out here that are 50s?
One of the big ones we caught, my grandson was over a little past where they are, and we caught a 43, and we couldn't get him in the net. And so we called them over, and of course they thought we were joking. So they finally got the word and come running over, jumped in our boat with their net. We put the two nets side by side and threw them in the boat. That was quite exciting. Fish on!
There we go.
Not very big, but he's a fish. There he is. Little one.
That's a nice one. On the board. Let me get this thing in.
Looks like a 48 to me.
That's 50.
You think it's a 50?
That's 50.
While I was casting, I guess you could say, a new school swim bait, Tom was quick to prove that spoons still do a number on Ontario pike. Old standbys like Daredevils, Red Eyes, and no-name gold and silver spoons are still must-haves in any Canadian tackle kit.
There.
Got it? Oh yeah, I see it. He's a nice.
There we go. That one has the right attitude. I wonder how many times they... There we go. Thank you very much.
Yep.
So how many pike have you had in your boat here at Lodge 88 over the years?
How many what?
What number pike is this?
Oh God. I couldn't begin to tell you. In fact, I brought a counter this year.
You did?
Yeah, just total fish, no.
Yeah.
At 174.
174?
Yeah.
It's a little guy for Lodge 88, but still a lot of fun. We've had, I don't know how many, we've had a lot of bites just in this weed bed. And that's what you get when you fish in Algoma country. Lots of pike, lots of action with a shot at a big one.
And pike make fantastic table fare. In fact, a lot of anglers prefer them over walleye. Let's take a look at an easy way to remove the Y bones.
Okay, now we're going to clean a northern pike. Just cut it like so. Make your first cut. Come through. Yeah, make your first cut, and you come back. Come over the rib, like so. And do the other side. Same thing. Just slice it down nice. There's your fillet. In order to transport this, you got to keep it just a full fillet. You can't do the 5-finger cut, so come down to the center line, like so. And down here it exposed the bone. You see it? The bone goes on an angle, like so. When you do this, you bring your knife up, because if you keep your knife down, you'll cut through the fillet. So you just, when you curve it up, like so. Just play with it, just work it. Now, when you skin it, you gotta skin it and leave a little patch of skin on there. Like so. Now you just clean it up a little bit. You just feel it to make sure it's boneless. That's your finished product.
Ontario and walleye fishing go hand in hand. Fact is, Ontario waters offer more opportunities for walleye numbers and size than anywhere else in the world. Here's a question for you. What is Ontario's provincial record for the largest walleye ever caught? 19.5 pounds? 22.25 pounds? 21.5? Or even 20 pounds? We'll give you a moment to think it over and have the answer when we come back. So what's the Ontario record for the largest walleye? If you guessed 22.25 pounds, you're right on. On May 26, 1943, angler Pat Noon caught a walleye on the Niagara River near Fort Erie, Ontario. It measured 36 inches long, 21 inches in girth, and weighed a whopping 22.25 pounds. Definitely a fish to beat, which some anglers are taking to heart. Just have a look at this massive fish caught north of Dryden, Ontario in 2016 by angler Trav Turand. Trav's fish measured 34.5 inches by 22 inches and was estimated at 22 pounds. Even better, it was released to fight another day.
Lodge 88 has a fleet of stable, hand-built cedar strip boats with 4-stroke outboards. It's pretty amazing. Their 18-foot cedar strip boats have been in use since 1958. Or choose from one of their many fully outfitted Lund aluminum V-hulls. Definitely the best of yesteryear and today.
Got one. Another little guy. There we go. Yeah, I'm just popping. What I'm doing is marking these fish and just kind of idling it over. The boats that they have here are really nice. They get these lunds that are set up. You bring your depth finder like this, and it's really easy. It's a smaller one, this little shore launcher. Really easy to locate and find these fish.
And when it comes to catching them, there's really no need for live bait. A few jigging wraps, some boot tails, jig heads, and curly grubs, you're set.
Oh, that's a nice one. Had lots of fish up here, lots of walleye this size. Just this morning here, fishing on Esnagi Lake out of Lodge 88. Gold, oh, and easy release.
Besides Lodge 88's excellent fishing and service, the wildlife watching is simply incredible.
That's probably the most loons I've ever seen in one spot. I don't know how many are around here. What do we have? 40? More? 40, 50 loons. And like groups of them there, this entire bay is loaded with them. Wow. They're fishing. Probably catching more than I am. But it's nice to shut the motor off and kind of soak it in.
It's scenes like this, along with the solitude, world-class fishing, and making new friends that keeps me coming back to Ontario every chance I get. Wake up to the sun, go to bed when it sets, and spend the rest of the time simply enjoying Ontario's natural beauty.
This hit all the lodges up here you have to fly into. Basically, this is, you know how you get supplies? You had to fly them in, all the fuel, food, everything. It's quite an operation. So this is where this journey ends here at Lodge 88. It's been a great week. Lots of walleyes, a lot of pike, great memories with people that have been here for many years. It's really been special. We came in on a train and we are leaving on a plane.
The nice thing about visiting Ontario during the mid to late summer is not only the great fishing, but the chance to pick wild blueberry and raspberries in certain areas. Now, while I neglected to put the rod down long enough to do that at Lodge 88, I did spot a few areas that looked promising in the drive up to White River. So once back to my truck, I figure I'd just pull over on the way back home and have myself a little road snack.
It's nice to get away from the lake and you go deep into the woods, deep into the Canadian wilderness and forage. Like right here, these blueberries. Now I'm way far inside the wilderness, far away from traffic, cars, people, and finding these nice, delicious delights like this, Canadian blueberries. You know, this is a nature's sugar, nature's treat. One thing that definitely likes this, you know, and other animals, including large animals like bears. You know, hopefully this isn't a patch that, you know, hopefully there's no bears around here. Let's see, you know, let's see us. Like I said, we're far away, and there could be hostile animals in the area, and I don't have a cell signal. We're far away from any civilization. Miles into the bush.